Welcome to a Lessons Learned session presented by Predictive Solutions. This session, we will look at the most at-risk observations. We will demonstrate how data can be sorted to show most at risk. In particular, we will focus on the summary report. The data will be shown by subcategory and then sorted by at-risk or unsafe count. We will then discuss how this data can be used to drive continuous improvement. Here we have a summary report in SafetyNet. The data is shown by subcategory and then sorted by the at-risk count. In this case, glasses, face shields number 1, guardrails number 2, so on and so forth. Now, I sorted by the at-risk conditions or unsafe count. You can also sort by other metrics such as percent safe or severity if you so choose, depending upon the nature of the hazard you want to investigate. What I want to do is I want to show how you can drive continuous improvement with this data. So we've gone out and we've had all our inspectors looking at all of our locations, looking at all these departments or contractors or groups, and all this data is coming in. So we want to be able to quickly get down into what are our leading indicators. In this particular case, I've sorted to show what are the things we're seeing the most at risk. We can then drill down to figure out how are we going to address these issues. For example, if I were to look at guardrails, I want to know what can I do to get that fixed? Or what can I do so I can see fewer at-risk conditions going forward? To do that, you click on the subcategory name. You can then look at the details. Details are comments and photos that were added with the observations. In the case of guardrails, I would want to know what is causing the at-risk condition. Is it the top rail, the mid rail, the heights? Is it the cable clamps, how it's put together? Is it how they're being used? Those are things that I would want to know based on the comments. Once I find an underlying theme, that will help when I go to communicate this to the company. I could then look to say, hey, I have all these at-risk conditions related to guardrails. Is it across the entire company, or is it relegated to a few projects or locations? In this case, I've narrowed it down to just a few, one with 24 and one with 15. Both those two projects together contribute to over half of the at-risk conditions related to guardrails. If I then look at the contractors, I would look at those groups or crews that were observed. Drilling down into this information, I can quickly see one contractor has 52 of the 70 plus at-risk observations. So now, putting together an action plan, I know what the details are, what is the common theme. I know there's just a few projects that are having the biggest issue, and in particular one contractor or one group that's having the particular issue. So now I need to go and look at how do I put that action plan together. So I've determined the risk with the factors such as severity, percent safe, or any hazards related to injuries within the company. When I'm looking to develop the action plan, I look at why are these at-risk observations repeating? We've drilled down into the information. What I need to determine is what are the systemic issues? Why do people feel they can put a guardrail wrong? Is it a matter of training? Is it a matter of competency? Once I develop these, or once I determine what these systemic issues are, it will help me put an action plan together to resolve this going forward. Remember to take a varied approach. Different issues for different groups or different locations. Each project has their own thing going on. Each group has their own tasks that they're assigned to, so they're going to have different at-risk conditions at varying times. So you need to take that into account instead of making a blanket approach to say, we're having some hand injuries, so therefore 100% glove use on every project. Then, once you put that action plan together, you want to measure your progress. The way to do that is action plan in place that will prevent future at-risk conditions, or at least minimize them, so that you can control the risk. And then the observations going forward will tell you, have you been successful? Have you minimized or have you reduced your at-risk count based on the work that's being done?